Recently, a huge supply of heroin was taken. It was concealed in an apparently harmless shipment of 35 barrels of olive oil. The deadly drug was burned in the incinerator of the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And more vicious, more deadly, even than these soul-destroying drugs, is the menace of marijuana.
So much of American history, there was no policy regarding marijuana. It wasn't until the 1930s that attention was drawn to marijuana through propaganda and used as a scapegoat through Harry Alsinger. He combined the use of marijuana with the crimes that were being caused by Mexicans and blacks and drove fear into the population into thinking that marijuana is evil. He also made a lot of other claims that weren't backed by any science.
In 1937, there was a ban first placed on marijuana. Now fast forward to the time of Nixon. Nixon knew there was no evidence backing his claim about marijuana, but decided to use it as fuel for war on drugs and put his enemies in a negative light.
And marijuana was finally federally outlawed by the 1970s through the Controlled Substance Act, but change began in California in 1996 when we passed Proposition 215 that allowed medical marijuana to be used.
Shortly after, Oregon, Washington, and Alaska followed suit. Now there are 29 states and Washington, D.C. that have medical marijuana legal.
The United States ain't doing nothing for us, man. We busted our ass, we went over there to an army to kill, and 99% of us got killed, and we didn't get nothing for it. They give us a piece of paper that says to us, we're Vietnam veterans, and we can get disability, and we can get this, and we can get a job, and we ain't got nothing. We gotta get our welfare. You understand?
I remember looking to my left and I saw my brother. I'm like, damn, this is a dream. Please tell me it's a dream. And then I saw him crying and I saw my mom crying. I saw my dad cry, of course, my sister. And then I went to do one of these. And everything just went to hell for me after that. I realized that there was no muscle there. There was nothing there. I couldn't even do this to get up anymore.
Here are the facts. Many veterans say that the VA overprescribes medication. According to a survey by the National Institute of Health, veterans are about 40% more likely to experience severe pain than non-veterans. 11 to 20% of vets since 9/11, 12% of Gulf War vets, 15% of Vietnam vets have been diagnosed with PTSD. 20% of all veterans have PTSD or depression. 22 vets commit suicide each day. 83% of veteran households support medical cannabis, including my family.
PTSD is such a complex syndrome. It's got all these different target symptoms, and we treat each symptom with a different prescription medicine.
For cannabis, I would go into crowds and instantly I would be looking for the threats. You know, where's the biggest guy?
It made me want to do all the things that I no longer felt like doing when I was on the pills.
You know, I'm trained in a really conservative medical environment where you don't covet any meds unless they're put through the FDA drug development process.
These guys are over-medicated, way over-medicated, and to the point where they're walking zombies.
They had me on so much stuff that it just took my life.
Here, take this antidepressant. Here, take this antipsychotic.
The veterans call it, I think, combat cocktail, because they, come back and they're just put through the gauntlet of all these different FDA-approved meds.
I took everything.
Effexor,
Trazodone,
Prozac,
Lyrica,
amitriptyline, Vicodin,
Zoloft,
hydrocodone,
Ambien,
oxycodone,
Abilify,
Depakote,
Xanax,
fluoxetine,
quetiapine,
Percocets, relaxin,
morphine,
naproxen.
And it wasn't working, so they kept on increasing the dosage. I was on 200, 300 milligrams over the recommended dosages of these psych meds, plus sleep medication, all these meds. I mean, I was a walking zombie.
I'm very happy to say that I don't take any of them now.
We need access to medicinal cannabis. No. I am not a stoner. It's medicine.
Cannabis can help treat PTSD. It helps with anxiety and treats chronic pain. It also helps with insomnia. There's a chemical known as CBD or cannabidiol, which is non-psychotropic and does not elicit a high. It has been shown to be very effective in treating pain, and studies show that marijuana can also help reduce opiate dependence and addiction.
Veterans can sometimes see weeks to months without seeing any type of medication. So Jared, tell us a little bit about your military service and why you self-medicate with medical marijuana.
So right after high school, I took off and joined the Marine Corps. Ended up going Marine Corps Infantry, became an infantry assaultman. Ended up going to 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, where I was in what they call a line company. In a line company, you walk everywhere. So whether you have 50 pounds on your back or 125, you know, whatever the number, you're walking with all that weight on you. Depending on where your objective is, there were times where we're walking 30 miles with all that weight on your back while you're having different training scenarios, whatever happening at the same time, where you're running around, kind of really doing a number on your body. I know me, I didn't get it too bad. I just have chronic knee pain, chronic back pain. I get headaches all the time that never occurred before the Marine Corps. Plenty of random things, anxiety that I never had before the Marine Corps. And I know a lot of my buddies are suffering from the same things and worse things. And dealing with the VA, I know that I was almost kind of lucky. It only took me a few months to get seen and kind of get their opinion on certain things. I have buddies of mine where I've been out, me and my generation of guys have kind of been out for almost a year now, and they still haven't been seen at all by the VA. I know when you get seen for certain things, especially pain disorders, things like that, a lot of times they just want to throw opiates at you, and you might have been waiting for those for a year, so you're just going to take those.
According to the government, there's no medicinal value to cannabis, so it makes it impossible for the VA to give us access. They just want to keep it locked up.
Who wants to keep it locked up?
Jefferson Beauregard Sessions.
Send that message with clarity that good people don't smoke marijuana. I, as you know, am dubious about marijuana. As states can pass whatever laws they choose, but I'm not sure we're going to be a better, healthier nation that if we have marijuana being sold at every corner grocery store. I just don't think that's going to be good for us.
The most important thing you can do to help is vote.
Also, contact your representatives, Senators Harris and Feinstein, and congressional representatives to tell them to support federal medical marijuana research and legalization.
Check out organizations like Weed for Warriors, Veterans Cannabis Project, and Hero Grown.
Also, support declassification and legalization of marijuana through groups like NORML.
According to a survey by the National Institute of Health, start all over again. 11 to 20% of vets since 9/11, 12% of vets.
Scapegoat, in order to, I forgot what to say, sorry.
It helps to relieve insomnia pain. Oh my god.
Yo, that thing's not even spinning. That thing's not even...
CBD or cannabidiol.
My bad.
Looks better like that.
What's up? Sure, real quick.
Deal with those opiates and waiting for it. For real.
I am cannabinoid.
So we're doing two projects in one. Fuck it.
Yeah.